Good evening. In a surprising turn of events, United States President Donald Trump has extended an offer of dialogue to Cuba, signaling a potential shift in policy after months of heightened tensions and aggressive posturing. This development comes as President Trump prepares for a high-stakes trip to China, where he is scheduled to meet with President Xi Jinping. For months, the relationship between Washington and Havana has been fraught with conflict. President Trump has repeatedly threatened Cuba with a United States takeover, stoking fears of military intervention across the Caribbean island nation. These concerns were particularly amplified following the arrest of Venezuelan head of state Nicolás Maduro in early January by the United States military. Venezuela has long been a close ally of Cuba, and President Trump had explicitly stated that Cuba would be next in line for United States action. He had also frequently declared that the United States intended to take over Cuba, adding to the climate of uncertainty and apprehension. Beyond the rhetoric, President Trump's administration has imposed a series of severe economic and financial penalties on Cuba. These measures include new financial sanctions, the blocking of crucial fuel deliveries, and significant restrictions on both travel to the island and money transfers from abroad. Just last week, the United States further escalated its sanctions regime against Cuba. The Department of State in Washington announced that these latest punitive actions specifically targeted the Canadian mining company Sherritt, which subsequently declared it would terminate its joint venture operations in Cuba. Additionally, the Cuban conglomerate Gaesa, a powerful military-backed group estimated to control around 40% of Cuba's economy, was also subjected to further sanctions. Despite this prolonged period of increased pressure and punitive measures, President Trump suddenly adopted a different tone. On his online platform, Truth Social, he announced that the Caribbean island nation had requested help and that we will talk. While no specific details about the nature or timing of these proposed discussions were provided, President Trump also reiterated his view that Cuba is a failed country that is only moving in one direction, downwards. This unexpected offer of dialogue, following such intense pressure, adds another layer of complexity to the region's geopolitics. But before any potential talks with Cuba can materialize, President Trump is embarking on a significant international journey. This week, he is traveling to China, where he is scheduled to hold meetings with President Xi Jinping on Thursday and Friday. This will mark President Trump's first visit to China since his initial term in 2017. The timing of this trip is particularly noteworthy, as the government in Beijing has recently urged the United States to lift its long-standing embargo and all sanctions against Cuba. The confluence of these events, a sudden overture to Cuba, continuing sanctions, and a crucial meeting with a major global rival, underscores a dynamic and unpredictable phase in United States foreign policy. Observers will be watching closely to see how these divergent diplomatic threads ultimately intertwine and what impact they will have on global relations. What's your take on Trump offers talks to Cuba amid sanctions, heads to China? Share your view in the comments. Do you think this will matter in the next news cycle? This video was generated using artificial intelligence or